First contact and conflict. The stars glittered like scattered diamonds against the inky void of space as Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Pathfinder. Her dark eyes scanned the holographic displays surrounding her, searching for any sign of the alien vessel they had been tracking for the past 3 days. "Any updates, Lieutenant Reyes?" Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the tension coiled in her shoulders. Lieutenant Maria Reyes shook her head, her fingers dancing across the sensor controls. "Nothing yet, Captain. They're still maintaining radio silence." Sarah nodded, clasping her hands behind her back as she paced the length of the bridge. The Pathfinder was Earth's most advanced explorer vessel, designed to seek out new civilizations and expand humanity's knowledge of the galaxy. But their current mission had taken an unexpected turn when they detected an unknown ship on the edge of charted space. Initial attempts at communication had been met with silence, and the alien craft had immediately altered course, fleeing deeper into unexplored territory. Sarah's orders were clear: make contact if possible, but do not engage unless absolutely necessary. The last thing Earth needed was an interstellar incident with an unknown species. "Captain," called out Ensign Takashi Yamamoto from the helm, "I'm detecting a gravitational anomaly directly ahead. It looks like some kind of wormhole." Sarah's eyes widened. On screen, the main view screen flickered to life, revealing a swirling vortex of blue and purple energy. It was unlike anything Sarah had ever seen before, and her scientific curiosity warred with her cautious nature. "The alien vessel is heading straight for it," Reyes reported, her voice tinged with excitement. "They're going to enter the wormhole." Sarah hesitated for a split second before making her decision. "Follow them in, Ensign Yamamoto, but be ready to reverse course at my command." "Aye, Captain," Takashi responded, his hands steady on the controls as he guided the Pathfinder towards the swirling anomaly. As they approached the wormhole's event horizon, Sarah felt a strange tingling sensation wash over her body. The ship's sensors began to fluctuate wildly, and for a heart-stopping moment, she feared they had made a terrible mistake. Then, with a flash of blinding light, they were through. The Pathfinder emerged into a star system unlike any they had ever encountered. Twin suns blazed in the distance, their light refracting off crystalline structures that seemed to float in space. And there, just ahead of them, was the alien vessel they had been pursuing. "Hail them," Sarah ordered, her voice firm. "Let's see if they're more willing to talk now." Before Reyes could carry out the command, a brilliant beam of energy lanced out from the alien ship, striking the Pathfinder's shields with devastating force. "Evasive maneuvers," Sarah shouted as alarms blared throughout the bridge. "Return fire, targeting engines only." The space around them erupted into chaos as the two ships engaged in a deadly dance. The Pathfinder's advanced technology gave them an edge, but the alien vessel was incredibly agile, darting between the floating crystal structures with impossible precision. As the battle raged on, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. The alien attacks seemed almost desperate, like they were fighting out of fear rather than aggression. "Captain," called out Dr. Elara Voss, the ship's xenobiologist, "I've been analyzing the data we've collected on their ship. I think they might be refugees." Sarah's brow furrowed. "Explain." "The energy signatures we're detecting suggest their vessel is operating far beyond its design parameters," Hilara continued. "And the way they're fighting, it's like they're trying to drive us off rather than destroy us." A plan began to form in Sarah's mind. It was risky, but if Dr. Voss was right, it might be their only chance to avoid further bloodshed. "Ensign Yamamoto, bring us alongside their vessel," she ordered. "Lieutenant Reyes, prepare to drop our shields on my mark." Her crew looked at her in shock, but Sarah's unwavering gaze silenced any protests. As they maneuvered closer to the alien ship, she took a deep breath and gave the command. "Shields down, open a channel." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, to everyone's amazement, the alien vessel ceased fire. A holographic projection flickered to life on the bridge, revealing a humanoid figure with iridescent skin and large, compound eyes. When it spoke, its voice was a melodic blend of clicks and whistles that the ship's computer struggled to translate. "Why do you pursue us?" the alien asked, its tone a mixture of fear and curiosity. Sarah stepped forward, her hands raised in a gesture of peace. "We mean you no harm. We are explorers, seeking to learn about new civilizations. We only attacked in self-defense." The alien's compound eyes seemed to shimmer as it processed her words. "You are not the harvesters." "Harvesters?" Sarah repeated, confused. "No, we are humans from the planet Earth. We've never encountered your species before." The tension in the alien's posture visibly relaxed. "Forgive us. We feared you were those who destroyed our world." As the alien, who introduced himself as Zaxxlian, explained their situation, Sarah felt a wave of sympathy wash over her. Their homeworld had been attacked by a ruthless species known as the Harvesters, who consumed entire planets for resources. Zaxxlian and his small group of survivors were all that remained of their once thriving civilization. "We'll help you," Sarah said without hesitation. "Earth has advanced defensive technology. We can offer you sanctuary and assistance in rebuilding." Zaxxlian's large eyes blinked rapidly, a gesture Sarah assumed was one of surprise or emotion. "You would do this for us, after we attacked you?" Sarah smiled, extending her hand in a human gesture of friendship. "It's what we do. Humanity has faced its own struggles, but we've learned that strength comes from unity, not isolation. Together, we can face any threat." As Zaxxlian's slender hand tentatively reached out to grasp hers, Sarah knew that this moment would change the course of human history forever. They had set out to explore the stars, but in doing so, they had found not just new life, but a cause worth fighting for. The journey back through the wormhole was tense, with both ships on high alert for any sign of the mysterious harvesters. Sarah used the time to learn more about Zaxxlian's species, the Nixari, and their advanced biotechnology. In return, she shared stories of Earth's history and the principles that guided humanity's expansion into space. As they approached the edge of Earth's solar system, Sarah received a priority communication from Admiral Takeda, the head of Earth's Defense Force. "Captain Chen," the Admiral's stern face filled the view screen. "Our long-range sensors detected your return through an uncharted wormhole. You are ordered to proceed directly to Mars base for debriefing and quarantine. Do not approach Earth under any circumstances." Sarah frowned. "Admiral, with all due respect, we have refugees in need of immediate medical attention. Their ship is barely holding together." Admiral Takeda's expression softened slightly. "I understand, Captain, but we cannot risk exposing Earth to unknown pathogens. Mars base has state-of-the-art medical facilities. They'll be well cared for there." As Sarah relayed the orders to Zaxxlian, she could see the fear and uncertainty in his alien features. "It's going to be all right," she assured him. "I give you my word that you'll be treated with respect and compassion." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. As the Nixari received medical treatment and their ship underwent repairs, Sarah and her crew were subjected to intense debriefings. Earth's governments were in an uproar over the revelation of not one, but two alien species, one friendly, one hostile. It was during this time that Sarah began to notice something strange. The Nixari seemed to be watching her with an intensity that went beyond mere curiosity. Zaxxlian, in particular, seemed almost protective of her. Finally, on the eve of their scheduled return to Earth, Zaxxlian requested a private meeting with Sarah. As she entered his quarters on Mars base, she was struck by the beauty of the bioluminescent patterns that danced across his skin. "Captain Chen," Zaxxlian began, his voice trembling slightly. "There is something I must tell you, something that will change everything." Sarah's heart raced as she waited for him to continue. Whatever this was, she knew it would alter the course of their two species forever. Zaxxlian took a deep breath, his compound eyes fixed on Sarah's face. You are with child, Sarah Chen, a child that is both human and Nixari. The world seemed to spin around Sarah as she struggled to process his words. That's impossible, she whispered. We're different species. How could this happen? Zaxalian's skin pulsed with patterns of soothing blue light. Our scientists have confirmed it. The unique radiation from the wormhole, combined with our species' adaptive biology, it has created something miraculous, a bridge between our two kinds. As the full implications of this revelation washed over her, Sarah felt a mix of fear, wonder, and an unexpected surge of joy. This child, her child, could be the key to forging a lasting alliance between humanity and the Nixari, a symbol of hope in the face of the looming harvester threat. But it would also make her a target. There would be those on both sides who would fear this unprecedented merging of species, who would seek to control or destroy this new life growing within her. Sarah placed a protective hand over her still flat stomach, her expression hardening with determination. We need to keep this quiet for now, she said, at least until we can ensure the safety of both our peoples. Zaxalian nodded, reaching out to place his hand gently over hers. We will protect you, Sarah Chen, you and the child. The future of both our species depends on it. As Sarah left Zaxalian's quarters, her mind raced with plans and contingencies. She had set out on a mission of exploration, never imagining she would become the linchpin in humanity's first true interstellar alliance. All that she would carry within her the physical embodiment of that alliance. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Sarah knew one thing for certain: the universe had just become a much bigger, more wondrous, and far more dangerous place, and she was at the very heart of it all. Unlikely alliance. The crimson dust of Mars swirled around Sarah Chen as she stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Harmony base. Her hand rested unconsciously on her slightly swollen belly, a reminder of the miraculous life growing within her, a child both human and Nixari. The past few months had been a whirlwind of secret medical examinations, clandestine meetings, and carefully orchestrated cover stories. Penny for your thoughts, Captain. The gravelly voice of Admiral Takeda broke through Sarah's reverie. She turned to face her superior officer, schooling her features into a mask of professional calm. Just contemplating our next move, sir. The harvester threat looms larger every day. Admiral Takeda nodded, his weathered face grave. That's why I've called this summit. We need to forge a united front, and quickly. As if on cue, a shimmering portal of light appeared before them. Sarah fought to keep her expression neutral as Zaxalian and a delegation of Nixari stepped through. The bioluminescent patterns rippling across their skin were a dazzling display of blues and purples, a sign of anticipation and hope, Sarah had learned. Welcome to Mars, honored allies, Admiral Takeda said, bowing slightly. Zaxalian's compound eyes flickered briefly to Sarah before addressing the Admiral. We are grateful for your hospitality and eager to begin our work together. As the group made their way to the conference room, Sarah couldn't help but marvel at how quickly things had changed. Just months ago, the idea of aliens walking freely on a human base would have been unthinkable. Now, it was their best hope for survival. The conference room was a marvel of human and Nixari design. Holographic displays shimmered in the air, showing real-time data on harvester movements and potential defensive strategies. Around the table sat an unlikely assortment of individuals, human military leaders, Nixari scientists, and even a few trusted civilians with specialized knowledge. Let's get straight to the point, Admiral Takeda began. Our long-range sensors have detected a harvester fleet moving through the Orion Arm. At their current speed, they'll reach our solar system within 6 months. A ripple of unease passed through the room. Sarah felt Zaxalian tense beside her, his skin pulsing with anxious patterns of red and orange. We've been analyzing the data from the Nixari encounters. Dr. Elara Voss spoke up, her holographic avatar flickering to life above the table. The harvesters seem to target worlds with specific mineral compositions. If we can alter the electromagnetic signature of our planets, we might be able to mask our presence. An intriguing theory, shitted Kesoth, the lead Nexari scientist. But the energy requirements for such a deception would be enormous. Sarah leaned forward, an idea forming. What if we combined our technologies, human fusion reactors paired with Nexari quantum field generators? The room erupted into a flurry of discussion, with holographic simulations and complex equations flying back and forth. As Sarah watched the unlikely allies work together, she felt a surge of hope. This was what humanity did best. Faced with impossible odds, they innovated, adapted, and overcame. Hours passed in a blur of strategic planning and technological breakthroughs. By the time the meeting adjourned, they had the beginnings of a plan, ambitious, dangerous, but with a glimmer of hope. As the others filed out, Admiral Takeda held Sarah back. "A word, Captain Chen." Sarah's heart raced, but she kept her voice steady. "Of course, sir." Once they were alone, Takeda's stern expression softened. "Sarah, I've known you since you were a cadet. You've always been one of our best and brightest, but lately, there's something different about you." She swallowed hard, wondering if this was the moment her secret would be revealed. "Sir." Takeda's eyes crinkled with a rare smile. "You seem more driven, more focused than ever. Whatever it is that's motivating you, hold on to it. We're going to need that fire in the months ahead." Relief washed over Sarah, followed quickly by guilt. She hated keeping secrets from her mentor, but the stakes were too high. "Thank you, sir. I won't let you down." As she left the conference room, Sarah found Zaxelian waiting for her in an empty corridor. Without a word, he gently placed his hand on her stomach, his skin glowing with soft patterns of pink and gold, joy and wonder. "The child grows strong," he murmured. "I can sense its unique energy signature." Sarah covered his hand with her own, marveling at the strange turns her life had taken. "We're going to give this little one a galaxy worth fighting for," she said softly. Zaxelian's compound eyes shimmered with an emotion Sarah was learning to recognize as determination. "Indeed we shall. But Sarah, there's something else we must discuss. My people have been analyzing the data from your medical scans. The child's unique physiology, it may hold the key to defeating the Harvesters once and for all." Sarah's protective instincts flared. "What do you mean?" "The merging of our DNA has created something unprecedented," Zaxelian explained. "A perfect blend of human adaptability and Nexari bioenergy manipulation. If we can harness that power—" "No," Sarah cut him off, taking a step back. "This child isn't a weapon. It's a symbol of hope, of unity between our peoples." Zaxelian's skin pulsed with soothing blues. "Of course, Sarah. I would never suggest using the child itself, but if we could synthesize its unique genetic markers, create a defense based on its hybrid nature." Sarah's mind raced. The ethical implications were staggering, but if it could save billions of lives— "We'll discuss this later," she said finally. "For now, let's focus on the plan we've already set in motion." As they made their way back to the main hub of Harmony Base, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The hairs on the back of her neck stood up, and she instinctively placed a hand over her barely showing pregnancy. "Zaxelian," she whispered, "I think we're—" Before she could finish, a blinding flash of light erupted in the corridor. Sarah felt Zaxelian's arms wrap protectively around her as they were both engulfed in the strange energy. When the light faded, Sarah found herself in a vast chamber unlike anything she had ever seen. The walls seemed to pulse with living energy, and floating orbs of light drifted lazily through the air. "Welcome, Sarah Chen," a melodious voice echoed through the chamber. "We have been waiting for you." As her eyes adjusted to the ethereal glow, Sarah gasped. Before her stood a being of pure energy, its form constantly shifting and flowing. Somehow, she knew she was in the presence of something ancient and unimaginably powerful. "Who? What are you?" she managed to ask, her voice barely above a whisper. The being's form coalesced into a vaguely humanoid shape. "We are the Guardians, shepherds of life in this galaxy, And you, Sarah Chen, carry within you the key to its survival. Sarah's hand instinctively went to her stomach. The child. Not just the child, the Guardian replied, but the union it represents. The harvesters seek to consume all in their path, but in doing so, they have become stagnant. Your child, this merging of two species, represents the power of adaptation, of evolution. It is the antithesis of everything the harvesters stand for. Zaxalian stepped forward, his skin pulsing with a mix of awe and uncertainty. You knew this would happen. You arranged it somehow. The Guardian's form shimmered. We merely set the stage. The choice was always yours. And now you face another choice, one that will determine the fate of not just your species, but all life in the galaxy. Sarah felt the weight of the Guardian's words settle upon her shoulders. Whatever this choice was, she knew it would change everything. As she stood there, hand protectively cradling her unborn child, Sarah Chen realized that the greatest adventure of her life was only just beginning. The fate of the galaxy rested not just on military might or technological prowess, but on the miraculous new life growing within her, a child of two worlds, and the living embodiment of hope in the face of cosmic terror. Cosmic Crucible. The Guardian's chamber pulsed with ethereal energy as Sarah Chen and Zaxalian grappled with the weight of their newfound knowledge. The air crackled with possibility, and Sarah could feel the child within her stirring, as if responding to the cosmic forces swirling around them. What choice do you speak of? Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil in her heart. The Guardian's form shimmered, coalescing into a swirling vortex of stars and nebulae. The power to defeat the harvesters lies dormant within your child, Sarah Chen. But to unlock it, you must undertake a journey of unimaginable peril, a cosmic crucible that will test the very limits of your beings. Zaxalian's skin pulsed with patterns of concern and determination. Whatever the cost, we will pay it. Our peoples, our galaxy, depend on it. The Guardian's voice resonated through their very souls. The crucible will take you to the heart of creation itself. There, you must face your deepest fears, your greatest weaknesses. Only by overcoming them can you hope to unlock the power needed to save all life. Sarah's mind reeled at the implications. But what about Earth? The harvester fleet is still coming. We can't just abandon our people. Time flows differently in the realm of the crucible, the Guardian explained. What may feel like months to you will be but moments in your own reality. But be warned, the trials you face will be very real, and failure means not just your own demise, but that of all you hold dear. Sarah and Zaxalian exchanged a look of understanding. There was no real choice here, only the path forward, no matter how daunting. We accept, they said in unison. The chamber around them began to dissolve, reality itself seeming to unravel at the seams. Sarah felt Zaxalian's hand grasp hers tightly as they were plunged into a swirling maelstrom of cosmic energy. When the vertigo subsided, Sarah found herself standing on what appeared to be a planetoid of pure crystal. The sky above was a riot of colors she had no names for, punctuated by impossible geometric shapes that hurt her eyes to look at directly. "Where are we?" she whispered, her voice sounding strange and distant in the alien atmosphere. Zaxalian's skin rippled with patterns of awe and trepidation. The better question might be, when are we? Before Sarah could respond, the crystal beneath their feet began to glow. Ghostly images flickered to life around them, scenes from their pasts, their greatest triumphs and most crushing defeats. Your first trial begins, the Guardian's voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. To move forward, you must first make peace with your past. Sarah watched as moments from her life played out before her. The day she was accepted into the Earth Space Academy, the first alien world she set foot on, the friends she had lost in battle, their faces etched with pain and betrayal. Beside her, Zaxalian trembled as his own past unfolded. The fall of his homeworld, the agonizing choice to flee while others perished, the weight of survivor's guilt that had haunted him ever since. "We can't change the past," Sarah said, her voice choked with emotion. "But we can learn from it. Honor those we've lost by fighting for a better future." Zaxalian's hand found hers once more. "Together," he said simply. As they acknowledged their shared pain, their triumphs and failures, the images began to fade. The crystal beneath them hummed with newfound energy, and a path of shimmering light appeared before them. They had barely taken a step when the world around them shifted once more. This time, they found themselves in what appeared to be a vast library, stretching as far as the eye could see in all directions. Books and scrolls of every conceivable size and material floated through the air, some opening to reveal holographic displays of advanced scientific concepts. "The sum of all knowledge," the Guardian's voice intoned. "Your second trial, to understand that which seems beyond comprehension." Sarah and Zaxalian dove into the sea of information with fervor. They absorbed complex theories of quantum mechanics, delved into the mysteries of dark matter, and unraveled the secrets of faster-than-light travel. Their minds expanded, struggling to contain the vast wealth of cosmic wisdom. Hours, days, or perhaps years passed. Time had no meaning in this realm of pure knowledge. Sarah felt her child growing within her, its consciousness somehow intertwining with the cosmic truths they were absorbing. Just when it seemed their minds would burst from the influx of information, everything went dark. Sarah found herself floating in an infinite void, utterly alone. "Zaxalian," she called out, her voice swallowed by the emptiness. "Guardian, anyone?" Panic began to set in as the isolation pressed down upon her. She could no longer feel the presence of her child, and a deep, primal fear gripped her heart. "This is the final trial," the Guardian's voice whispered from the darkness. "To face the void, to confront the ultimate truth of existence." Sarah forced herself to breathe, to center her thoughts. She reached out with her mind, drawing upon the knowledge she had gained, the strength she had cultivated throughout her life. And then she felt it, a glimmer of warmth, a spark of life in the endless dark, her child reaching out to her across the cosmic void. And beyond that, the faintest trace of Zaxalian's unique energy signature. "We are not alone," Sarah said, her voice growing stronger. "Even in the darkest reaches of space, life finds a way, and where there is life, there is hope." As the words left her lips, the void around her exploded into brilliant light. She found herself once more in the Guardian's chamber, Zaxalian at her side, both of them changed in ways they could scarcely comprehend. The Guardian's form coalesced before them, more solid and defined than before. "You have passed the cosmic crucible," it said, a note of pride in its otherworldly voice. "The power to save your galaxy now lies within you." Sarah placed a hand on her swollen belly, feeling the incredible energy pulsing within. "But how do we use it?" she asked. The Guardian's form began to fade, its voice growing distant. "Trust in yourselves, in each other, and in the life you have created. The rest will follow." In a flash of light, Sarah and Zaxalian found themselves back on Mars, mere moments after they had disappeared. But the knowledge they had gained, the trials they had faced, it had changed them forever. As alarms blared around them, signaling the approach of the Harvester fleet, Sarah met Zaxalian's gaze with newfound determination. "Are you ready?" she asked, her voice steady and sure. Zaxalian's skin pulsed with patterns of fierce resolve. "Together," he replied, "we can face anything." Hand in hand, the unlikely pair strode forward to meet their destiny, carrying within them the power to reshape the very fabric of the cosmos. The final battle for the fate of all life in the galaxy was about to begin, and at its heart stood a child of two worlds, a beacon of hope in the face of cosmic annihilation. Quantum entanglement. The red dust of Mars swirled around Sarah Chen and Zaxalian as they raced towards the command center of Harmony Base. Alarms blared, their urgent wails a stark reminder of the impending Harvester threat. But Sarah and Zaxalian moved with a newfound purpose, their recent ordeal in the cosmic crucible having fundamentally altered their perception of reality. As they burst into the command center, Admiral Takeda turned to them, his face etched with grim determination. Captain Chen, Zaxxilian, where have you been? The Harvester fleet has just entered the solar system. Sarah's hand instinctively went to her noticeably swollen belly. Sir, we have a way to stop them, but you're going to have to trust us. Before the Admiral could respond, the main view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that sent chills down everyone's spine. The Harvester fleet was vast beyond imagination, a writhing mass of biomechanical ships that seemed to devour the very light around them. By the stars, whispered Dr. Elara Voss, her holographic form flickering with barely contained fear. There are thousands of them. Zaxxilian stepped forward, his skin pulsing with determined patterns of blue and gold. Numbers mean nothing in the face of cosmic truth, he said, his voice resonating with newfound authority. Sarah nodded, feeling the incredible energy building within her. We need to get to the quantum amplification chamber. Now, quantum entanglement. The red dust of Mars swirled around Sarah Chen and Zaxxilian as they raced towards the command center of Harmony Base. Alarms blared, their urgent wails a stark reminder of the impending Harvester threat. But Sarah and Zaxxilian moved with a newfound purpose, their recent ordeal in the cosmic crucible having fundamentally altered their perception of reality. As they burst into the command center, Admiral Takeda turned to them, his face etched with grim determination. Captain Chen, Zaxxilian, where have you been? The Harvester fleet has just entered the solar system. Sarah's hand instinctively went to her noticeably swollen belly. Sir, we have a way to stop them, but you're going to have to trust us. Before the Admiral could respond, the main view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that sent chills down everyone's spine. The Harvester fleet was vast beyond imagination, a writhing mass of biomechanical ships that seemed to devour the very light around them. By the stars, whispered Dr. Elara Voss, her holographic form flickering with barely contained fear. There are thousands of them. Zaxxilian stepped forward, his skin pulsing with determined patterns of blue and gold. Numbers mean nothing in the face of cosmic truth, he said, his voice resonating with newfound authority. Sarah nodded, feeling the incredible energy building within her. We need to get to the quantum amplification chamber. Now. Admiral Takeda hesitated for just a moment before nodding sharply. Do it. Whatever you're planning, it's our only hope. As they raced through the corridors of Harmony Base, Sarah felt her child stirring within her, its consciousness somehow intertwined with the very fabric of spacetime. The knowledge they had gained in the cosmic crucible swirled through her mind, concepts so vast and complex that her human brain struggled to contain them. They burst into the quantum amplification chamber, a marvel of human and Nixari engineering. At its center stood a pulsing orb of pure energy, the result of their combined technologies. What now? Zaxxilian asked, his compound eyes fixed on Sarah. She took a deep breath, centering herself. We need to create a quantum entanglement field, on a scale never before attempted. As Sarah began to explain her plan, the scientists and engineers in the room looked at her with a mixture of awe and disbelief. What she was proposing should have been impossible, a manipulation of quantum mechanics that defied the known laws of physics. But Sarah and Zaxxilian moved with the certainty of those who had glimpsed the true nature of the cosmos. Their hands danced over control panels, making adjustments that seemed to bend reality itself. We're going to create a subspace bubble, Sarah explained as she worked. One that encompasses our entire solar system. But instead of just hiding us, we're going to use it to entangle the harvesters with their own past. Dr. Voss's holographic eyes widened in understanding. You're going to force them to evolve, to face the very adaptation they've been running from. Zaxxilian nodded, his skin pulsing with excited patterns. The power of change, of growth, it's anathema to their very nature, and the catalyst for that change is right here, Sarah finished, placing a hand on her belly. The child within her seemed to pulse with cosmic energy, a living embodiment of the union between two species. As the quantum field began to build, reality itself seemed to waver. The view screens showed the Harvester fleet advancing, but their movements became erratic, as if they were fighting against an invisible force. "It's working," someone shouted. But Sarah knew it wasn't enough. The power needed to affect an entire fleet, to rewrite the very nature of such an ancient and terrible force. It was more than their technology alone could provide. She locked eyes with Zaxxillian, a silent understanding passing between them. Without a word, they stepped into the heart of the quantum amplification chamber. "Sarah, no." Admiral Takeda's voice crackled over the intercom. "The energy levels in there will tear you apart." But Sarah and Zaxxillian stood firm, their hands clasped together as the swirling vortex of quantum energy enveloped them. Sarah felt her child's consciousness expanding, merging with her own, with Zaxxillian's, with the very fabric of space-time itself. In that moment, they were no longer individuals. They were a conduit for the fundamental forces of the universe, channeling the power of evolution, of change, of life itself. The quantum field exploded outward, engulfing the entire solar system in a blinding flash of light. On the view screens, the Harvester fleet writhed in cosmic agony as eons of stagnation were undone in an instant. When the light faded, Sarah found herself on her knees, Zaxxillian's arms around her. The quantum amplification chamber was in ruins, but as she looked up at the view screen, her heart soared. Where the Harvester fleet had been, there was now a swirling nebula of newborn stars and fledgling worlds. The cosmic destroyers had been forced to confront their own evolution, to remember what it meant to create rather than consume. As the cheers of victory erupted around them, Sarah felt a sudden, sharp pain. Her eyes widened as she realized what was happening. "Zaxxillian," she gasped, clutching her belly. "It's time." The Nexari's skin pulsed with patterns of joy and anxiety. "The child, now." Sarah nodded, a smile breaking through the pain. A new life for a new era. As they rushed her to the medical bay, Sarah knew that the birth of her child, this miraculous union of human and Nexari, was more than just a personal moment. It was the dawn of a new age for the galaxy, one of unity, of growth, of infinite possibility. The cosmic crucible had forged them into something new, something powerful. And now, as the first cries of their child echoed through Harmony Base, Sarah and Zaxxillian knew that their greatest adventure was only just beginning. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if in welcome to this new life. A child of two worlds, born amidst the ashes of cosmic war, heralding an era of peace and discovery that would span the galaxies. Stellar Genesis. The medical bay of Harmony Base hummed with an energy that transcended the merely technological. As Sarah Chen's labor intensified, the very air seemed to shimmer with possibility. Zaxxillian stood by her side, his iridescent skin pulsing with patterns of anxiety and wonder. Dr. Ilara Voss, her holographic form flickering with barely contained excitement, monitored the unprecedented birth. "The child's biosignatures are off the charts," she murmured, her eyes wide. "I've never seen anything like this." Sarah gritted her teeth against another contraction, her body glowing faintly with residual quantum energy. "Neither has the universe," she gasped. As the moment of birth approached, a strange phenomenon began to manifest. The lights in the medical bay flickered and dimmed, replaced by a soft, starry glow that seemed to emanate from Sarah herself. Zaxxillian's compound eyes widened in awe as tiny galaxies appeared to swirl beneath Sarah's skin. "By the cosmic void," he whispered, "it's as if the child carries the essence of creation within them." With a final, universe-altering push, Sarah gave birth to a being that defied all expectations. The child, a perfect blend of human and Nexari physiology, opened eyes that held the depth and mystery of the cosmos itself. As the newborn took its first breath, a wave of energy pulsed outward, momentarily overloading every system on the base. In that instant, each person present experienced a vivid vision, glimpses of distant worlds, of civilizations yet to be born, of the vast potential that lay ahead. Admiral Takeda burst into the room, his usual composure shattered by what he had just experienced. "What? What was that?" he demanded, his voice trembling. Dr. Voss, her holographic form stabilizing, could only shake her head in wonder. "I believe we just witnessed the birth of a new era for our entire galaxy." Sarah cradled her child, feeling an overwhelming sense of love and purpose wash over her. "We'll call her Nova," she said softly, "for the new star she represents in the cosmic tapestry." As news of Nova's birth spread throughout the base and beyond, delegations from Earth and the surviving Nixari colonies began to arrive. The child's very existence had become a symbol of hope and unity in a galaxy still reeling from the threat of the harvesters. But with this new hope came new challenges. As Nova grew at an accelerated rate, her powers began to manifest in ways that both thrilled and terrified those around her. She could manipulate quantum fields with a thought, peer into the very fabric of space-time, and communicate with beings on a level that transcended normal consciousness. Sarah and Zaxlian found themselves not just parents, but guardians of a power that could reshape the cosmos itself. They worked tirelessly to help Nova understand and control her abilities, all while navigating the complex political landscape that had formed in the wake of the Harvester defeat. Earth, once hesitant about alien contact, now found itself at the center of a burgeoning galactic community. The technology and knowledge gained from the Nixari, combined with the quantum leap provided by Nova's existence, propelled humanity into a new golden age of exploration and discovery. But not all welcomed this rapid change. A shadowy organization known as the Cosmic Purists began to emerge, their ideology centered around the belief that Nova and the hybrid future she represented were a threat to the natural order of the universe. As Nova approached her 5th birthday, physically and mentally equivalent to a human teenager, the Purists made their move. In a coordinated attack that spanned multiple star systems, they struck at the heart of the new galactic alliance. Sarah, Zaxlian, and Nova found themselves on the run, pursued across the stars by those who feared the change they represented. But with every challenge, every narrow escape, Nova's powers grew, as did her understanding of her place in the cosmic order. It was during a fierce battle in the swirling storms of a gas giant that Nova's true potential was finally realized. Surrounded by Purist ships, with Sarah and Zaxlian injured and their own vessel failing, Nova closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. In that moment, she touched the consciousness of every being in the galaxy, human, Nixari, and countless other species they had yet to encounter. Through her, they all experienced a vision of unity, of a future where the boundaries between species and cultures faded away in the face of shared cosmic destiny. The Purist attack faltered it as their own members, touched by this vision, began to question their beliefs. Nova, glowing with the power of 1,000 suns, spoke words that resonated across the galaxy. "We are all stardust, born from the same cosmic forge. Our differences are not a weakness, but our greatest strength. Together, we can write a new story for the universe itself." As her words echoed through the cosmos, ancient technologies long dormant began to awaken. Hidden gateways between galaxies shimmered into existence, and somewhere, in the vast expanse between worlds, the Guardians stirred, sensing that their long vigil might finally be nearing its end. Sarah and Zaxlian, watching their daughter become the catalyst for a transformation beyond anything they could have imagined, felt a mixture of pride and trepidation. They had unlocked the power to save their galaxy, but in doing so, they had set in motion events that would reshape the very nature of existence. As the stars themselves seemed to pulse with new life, Nova turned to her parents, her eyes reflecting the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. "This is just the beginning," she said, her voice carrying the weight of cosmic truth. "Our real journey is about to start." And with those words, a new chapter in the history of the universe began, one of exploration, unity, and the limitless potential of life itself. The cosmic crucible had forged not just a child, but a new destiny for all sentient beings. As their ship set course for the unknown, Sarah, Zaxlian, and Nova stood together, ready to face whatever wonders and challenges awaited them among the stars. The galaxy, vast and mysterious, pulsed with the promise of adventures yet to come, a testament to the enduring power of hope, love, and the indomitable spirit of life itself.